2011, the Riverside Museum opens in Glasgow, and also Dougie has an idea. We didn't know he was going to be here, so we thought we'd give him... and he didn't know I was going to do that either, so he wouldn't have turned up. But Dougie comes up with this idea, and basically, as hopefully all the best ideas are, it's reasonably simple, reasonably straightforward. Just use hashtag Scotland Hour within a tweet at a set time every month. It's open to everyone. It's there for us all, be you in Glasgow, Galashiels, Goa, wherever in the world you're able to join in. Just follow the hashtag and you can get the flavour of what people are talking about and talk or tweet with them, as it were. So some people may or may not know hashtags and how they work. So let's take a look inside the Riverside. And so hashtags, they are increasingly more and more within the daily and weekly culture of everyone, be it on TV. We do like to be topical, so we did include MTV. We didn't have prior knowledge, but we do try and keep up with what's happening. But basically just by putting hashtag and then the text after it, people can search online, or in this case on Twitter, find that and find what people are talking about using that hashtag. It's almost like a key or a signature. And you don't have to be following the person, you don't have to know anything about the person at all. You just use that hashtag and it allows you to see everyone who's using that hashtag. Obviously, you do obviously have to spell it correctly, and hopefully there's no type errors on that one. So the Scotland Hour team got together, Dougie came up with the idea, ran for a couple of months, and then there was a tourism event in Kelvin Grove Art Galleries back in 2011, and we got together a team, and we now refer to ourselves as the hosts of Scotland Hour. Dougie, there, Aileen Lamb, Leslie Judge, Fiona Drain, Susan McNaughton, Sam Weston and myself, Mark Calpin. Some of the others have sneaked in at the front whilst we're doing that. Our role as hosts is to try and facilitate and make the conversations happen each month, make them as engaging for you as contributors, make them interesting, answer questions, guide and structure things as we can, and take input and engage with you all. So it's very much a crowdsourced event, and by that we mean we get information from literally all across Scotland, from the Highlands and Islands, Aberdeenshire, Inverness. I wouldn't like to think there's an area that we miss out. We certainly have areas of the country we would like to get more participation and engagement with, but we have coverage right across the whole country. So I talked earlier on about the themes. We did think that we needed some structure to our conversations, so we devised themes. The ones on the left, as you're looking, are the ones that we used in 2012. We then evolved them last year, at the end of last year for this year, 2013. You can see how we've tried to tie in the themes to various events in the Scottish tourism calendar, be it Scottish Food Fortnight, be it festivals, etc. And sometimes to be doing it at the right time, and for us, we think that's when people are trying to make the decisions. So we look at the festivals, we bring them in April of this year, rather than you might think, oh, the festival season really kicks off when Edinburgh wakes up. Well, that's in terms of when people are at them. In terms of people are making decisions and thinking about them, it's probably much earlier on in the year. So the festivals worked well and the themes work well for us. We did survey our customers, as we like to think most good business practices to do, and they gave us some good feedback, some really good feedback. They told us that they were experiencing business benefits, that there was things that they wanted us to cover throughout the course of a month or an hour, as it were. We are talking about collaboration and partnerships. I know myself within my business, that's an important aspect. We can't have enough good partnerships, be it with the local taxi company, the local restaurants, but with further afield agents and operators as well. For me, Twitter and Scotland Hour combines both aspects of LinkedIn and TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor, we can get recommendations. We can get people saying, thanks very much, had a lovely stay. I'll take that, that's lovely, thank you. But we'll also get people saying, go and try this when you go to such and such a place, and they're talking to me and they're telling me about that beach. And LinkedIn, the connections aspect of that really works. So we're able to with the use of the hashtag, you're able to see who else is within the area talking, or within the country, or within the world, and make the connections with them, and you have a genuine base on which to start your dialogue with them. So our capital city, obviously, in the Edinburgh, it does play an important part for us, as all towns and cities do. We've had quite a lot of coverage over the years that we've been going. Earlier this year, we finally changed our website round. So although we are a tweet chat, we do see the need that we have a website that people can interact with if they don't want to talk to us on Facebook or on Twitter. And Sam set that up and worked with the team to create that, and that's developing really well. And it is obviously scotlandair.com. Wouldn't be any other name for the address. But on the theme of the capital, we were fortunate enough earlier this year to have a motion raised in Parliament, in the Scottish Parliament, which achieved cross-party support, and as a result of that we were able to then have a debate in the Scottish Parliament in March of this year. Christine McKelvey proposed the motion, which you can see quoted in there, and we believe we're pretty sure we are the first hashtag to be mentioned in a motion at the Scottish Parliament. So people can surpass you, but if you're the first, you're the first, and we'll take that and wear that badge with quite a bit of honour. So staying with the Parliament, obviously it's about questions and answers and what people say about you, so we'll just look to see what the First Minister has on his desk, and it's just a whole pile of responses and referrals that people give us and talk about us and how they do. And that's all what it is. It's about people giving their honest talk to us and letting them know what they'd see. This year also saw another couple of changes. We brought in a question and answer format. Previously we had a theme and people just talked for the hour. We brought in the question and answer format to give us a lot more structure to the hours. We post now 5 questions, 10-minute intervals throughout the hour. So people put in hashtag Scotlandair and then A1 to answer question 1, A2, etc. What that does is it allows Susan down the front here to create some great storyfies which capture, and a storyfy is just a piece of software that captures the tweets which mention, you set up parameters. So we have, as you can see here, answers to question 5 and what tips can you share for those making a trip to see natural Scotland. And then we're able to list some really specific content and some really specific answers and some really great quality answers that you wouldn't have otherwise found. So that element of the crowdsourcing really works as well. And they're made publicly available. All the stuff we do typically is publicly available. So that's our Scotlandair. If you haven't already picked up, it is the last Wednesday of every month, 9 till 10. The next one will be at the end of this month, and it's St Andrews themed one. We'd like to say that our numbers, as I say, we have about 300 odd people over the course of each hour. We have about 4 million impressions for these hours, 300 plus participants on a regular basis, and an audience of about 400,000. That's what we do. We hope you can see the benefit in it, and hope you can maybe join us one day or one evening and see what you can do. So you've had your lunch. You've now got a chance to give us some questions. I've got 5 minutes for questions. Okay. So Dougie, do you want to come up and field the questions, and I'll hide at the back? Sorry.
Do you mind me asking how you're funded, and or
We're not funded.
Funded by that? Our own pockets.
How do you make money? Because there's obviously quite a big team.
We don't make money.
You don't?
No, we're not out to make money. The whole idea is to promote our country.
So how do you finance today? How do you finance?
We're all here in the capacity of, there are the hosts that you saw there, that's the 7 of us.
Makes me like you even more.
Thank you. We do it on a voluntary basis. We all, technically if my boss is listening, and I've got a microphone on now, so I'm obviously here learning things from my hotel in Hamilton, Holiday Inn Express, so that's that box ticked, that's him, happy. Pay for a day's wage for me, but everyone does it. We've got, Susan's got 2 properties that she runs, Fiona's got online activities and stuff, but we all put that on the back burner and do this stuff when we can, as I say, on a voluntary basis. Yeah, well, if some organisation, Glasgow City Marketing Bureau, sitting down front, if somebody wants to fund us, and there are items. There's some data information that we'd love to gather more robustly, possibly. It's not saying that the numbers that I've put up are not accurate and what we certainly believe to be accurate, and we haven't over-egged the pudding in any shape or form. But there are stuff that we could use some funding for, but at the moment we haven't got any funding, and it is a purely voluntary thing. I mean, the Scotland Hour that you saw, event 29 Studios in Glasgow were really good, hosted that for us, but there was financial contribution from the 7 of us for the food and drink that night. So yeah, we are doing it ourselves.
So just to run a bit from what you're saying there, we're not a business, we're just people that love Scotland, that's it. I'm actually a travel blogger, so I can push my business. But what we want, if we can gain one person to come to this country extra, that's us winning. If we can get more and more businesses together in the country, we're not corporate, we're just like individuals that love our country.
Thinking behind the time that it's at, because obviously it's early in the morning in Australia and kind of 2-3 in the afternoon in America.
It did start out on a Saturday morning, was the very first one. I was actually lying in bed when I saw my first encounter with it, but we'll skip on a bit. It's another hashtag we're not going on. Dougie, I think we talked amongst ourselves, and we joined by one of our colleagues, Aileen, at the back, I think we.
Well, the whole idea was it's hard, it's a big huge world and all over the place. The way we look at it is, what I find from if you put a tweet or you put something on Facebook, people can use the hashtag once they get involved in Scotland Hour, and hopefully we get people pushing it. They can look up the hashtag and there's an hour's worth of tweets. That's all right. Hopefully, I know what you're thinking is there's so many tweets and it's hard to do it, but
we've also tried to make ourselves less time dependent on that 9 to 10 PM slot, because two ways in that we now publish our questions 1 week in advance on Twitter and Facebook, etc., and tell people the question that it's going to be and the time that question will get. So if people want to schedule their answer towards that, they can in advance. And then I touched on within the presentation the story files that Susan compiles for us. So that then captures, so we can now look at the questions that were, and MD can look at the questions that were provided or the answers 2-3 months, 4 and 5 months back as far as we go.
Another answer to that is, if you follow the right people, you'll get the answers, if you see what I mean. If you follow people in Scotland Hour, and the more people that follow, we help each other. Somebody abroad coming, for instance last week we got a person in Australia wanting to know about Scottish Gardens. What do I know about Scottish Gardens? I've got monoblock. So what we do is we put the tweet out and we get tons of answers back, and the girl, she found Monday she was in Aberdeen, and Tuesday. So that's it.
I think that noise from across the way means we're out of time. My colleagues are around the room if you want to ask us individually as well. Thank you very much for your presentation or your attendance. See you later.